So what's up, everybody? We're gonna talk about part two to my story. So, as I said, they bring us into the cell areas, and they put me, my buddy, both of my friends in a cell, and right in front of them, they put me in a cell by myself. So this place is just crazy. It's just people screaming, like they're screaming shit at us. They want to kill us, all this stuff, like and trying to scare us. But and they're doing a good job of it because I'm like, I'm terrified. But my buddies are not showing any fear. They're talking mad shit to them, and I'm just shutting the fuck up because I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I already got enemies in here, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Ones that are imagined or real, whatever. So we're sitting in the cell, and now my buddy has drugs in his sock. He pulls it out. He starts flicking them to me. I'm doing drugs now. Doing meth. Meth back then, we're talking like in the '80s. It was these it was beige, like these, and sometimes it was real hard. Sometimes it was soft, but it was kind of beige, and it was just horrible type of drug to do because it would mess your nose, just cut your nose all up if you snorted it. Your intestines, like everything, like it was just a bad drug. But I'm doing it in a cell, and for anybody who's ever done, if you haven't done this drug, don't do it. Don't do no drugs. All right, that's the that's the message of this video. Don't do drugs, kids. All right, it's bad for you. I've already done it. It didn't do shit for me. Took a lot of years of my life. Wasted money, just whatever. But anyway, but that drug in particular, any kind of methamphetamine, you're. I was wired for sound in that cage. And when you're like that, you want to build a house and you can't. You're stuck in a little box. And so we're sitting in there, and at one point, people just screaming, yelling, whatever. They bring this dude in, and he's in a hospital gown. So they put him in a cell, like kind of almost across from me. So I say to him, like, "Yo, bro, what you in here for?" And he says he stole a burrito out of 7-Eleven. And I'm like, the burrito bandit? I'm like, what? I couldn't even believe that one. But anyway, he's in there, and they put this other dude in there with him. And somewhere in the middle of the night, I'm getting up and laying down, getting up. I'm like, I can't even stop pacing, whatever. I look across, and I see this dude get off his bunk and crawl into the other dude's bunk. Now, I ain't knocking nobody's lifestyle, you know what I mean? Whatever. But I'm 17, and I'm like seeing this. I'm like, what's going on here? This is wild. So at some point, it gets real quiet in there, and in the darkness, you hear, "Yo, Poppy." He said, "What? Why'd you dime on me?" He said, "Fuck you." The place goes fucking crazy. We're just laughing. This is just wild shit. So we're in there, like my buddy gets bailed out like in a few hours, like a couple of hours, 3 hours or whatever it was. He gets out pretty quick, one of them. And the other, my other friend, he's in there with me, and I tell the guard, "Yo, put me in there with him because I don't want to have some dude come in my cell and crawl in my bunk. I ain't playing this shit." I'm like, "Yo, put me over there." So they put us together, and come Monday morning, we're gonna get arraigned. So they take everybody that's in there, and there must be about 50 people in there. They put us in one big room, giant cage. Everybody's in there. Like if a free for all breaks out, ain't nobody opening that door. You know what I'm saying? So me and my buddy go up against the wall in the corner. Like if it's gonna go down, ain't nobody coming up behind us. It's gonna rumble, whatever it is. So I'm like kind of squatted down, looking, checking things out, looking at people. And they bring this little dude in, and he's like this to me. I'm 6'4", and they bring dude in, and he ain't got no shoes. And he's like, "Yo, what about my shoes, man?" He's like, "Man, they took that shit for evidence." He said, "You want shoes? Get it off of one of them." And he turns around and he looks right at me, and I'm like, looking at this dude. I stood up. I'm like, "If you want these, you're gonna have to bend down and take them, cause guess what? You getting your ass kicked in here. Like, I ain't playing that. So he walks in and he's looking around all hard and shit. And this big dude walks up to him. He goes, "Yo, Poppy, that was fucked up." He looked up at him. He said, "Fuck you." I was like, oh, this shit was funny to me. So anyway, they take us into the courtroom. I'm 17. I don't know shit about the law, law or the fucking judicial system or none of that. And they chain us up. Well, they chained me up. They, brought everybody in, like, I guess one by one, and they chain us up. I walk in, I see my mother in the audience. I'm like, oh man, I wasn't trying to hit, because they gave us a phone call. I ain't calling my mom. Like, I'm gonna eat this one. But she was there, and they bring us in. They put us in front of the judge, and the judge, like, reading off the charges, whatever. He's like, "How do you plead?" Now, I just want my friends off the hook. The gun was the major thing, and I'm gonna eat it all. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Because I'm a loyalist, man. Like, my friends, I was just trying to get them off. So I said, "Your Honor, I'm guilty." He's like, "Son, I could send you away for 2 years right now." He's like, "You need to talk to him." I turn around, there's a public defender there, and he pulls me back because I didn't have a lawyer or anything. So he pulls me back. He's like, "Yo, just plead not guilty." He's like, "He could send your ass away. Trust me. This is how it goes." I'm like, all right. So I turn around and I say not guilty. So they release us, and at the time I was living with my friend, because my dad, my stepdad had thrown me out of the house, and that's another story, and rightfully so. And I was being a little shit and doing whatever I wanted to do, not going to school and all that stuff. So I was staying with my friend. I'll tell that story some other time. But anyway, we get out, and I'm going back and forth to court. Long story short, they gave me probation as long as I stayed out of trouble, and for a year. Now, in that year, I'm still doing crazy, stupid shit. Selling drugs, just dumb shit. And so after a year, they expunge my record, so my record's clean. And here in the state of Florida, they give out gun permits like it's going out of style. And as long as you got a clean record, they gave me one without no problem, And yeah, it's like the American Express card. I don't leave home without it. I don't know what has happened to this world. It done flipped upside down. The shit that's going on today did not go on. You know what I mean? Like 40 years ago, that shit was non-existent. School shootings, all that stuff. And I blame, social media, hyping that shit up like it's all cool and shit. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, yeah, that's my jail story. So anyway, like, subscribe, or don't. I don't give a fuck. It ain't for you. This is for me. Documentation, I guess. And I know some people are watching. Molly, I see you. I see you, bro. I'm watching you. Anyway, till the next time. Peace out.